With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
What's up?
What up?
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Everything is everything, my friend. Everything is everything. And this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B, man. I was about to say just Scotty because I ain't put the B up there, but I was like, it don't even sound right. I'm about to say, yo, it's your boy Scotty.
Yo, why you look away like that, yo?
Yeah, this doesn't. Or yo, it's your boy Scott. It's like, nah,
don't
just
got the same ring to it.
you don't have the same ring to it. So
you can't do that, yo. You can't.
I've got to add the B to it.
Understood. What's going on? How you been?
I've been good, man. Just thinking about everything that's going on with sports, man. Just football season's over, but you got free agency, and then baseball.
It ain't over.
Yeah, it's coming back. You got NCAA basketball. You got the basketball playoffs. It's not heating up, but we know what teams are. So right. I'm excited, man. Let's talk about it all.
Yeah, so because we definitely got a lot. We definitely got to start at NFL. I mean, because it's excuse me, it's been the new league year just started, and it's been madness, to say the least. Literally right before we came on air, Von Miller signed a 7-year, I believe, $120 million contract with the Bills.
Yeah, I believe 6 or 7 years. Okay, so let's start there, all right? Would you pay that much for Von Miller?
I won't say that he's not worth it, but my God, that seemed like a lot of money for a vet. I think Von Miller's like set 32 or 34 or something like that.
It's funny how fast time flies, because like Von Miller, it feels like I just remember like yesterday it was like his rookie year, but then you start to think like, okay, so he did have some value with the Rams. He still got a lot left in the tank. I wouldn't say that it's a bad signing. I just was a little bit surprised that was the going rate for Von Miller.
I didn't think that was the rate either, but man, yo, 120 is man, that just seems like a lot of money. I mean, it is a lot of money, but for a 32-year-old pass rusher, but I'll say this. If he can add value to get them over the hump, because one of the things that stopped the Bills was their defense and them not being able to get pressure on Pat Mahomes in 13 seconds. So yeah, that it just seemed like a lot of money. It seemed like a lot of money.
Yeah, it's so he definitely got to talk about that.
Oh yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Okay, so now you want to go right into it now?
No. Let's finish with Von Miller. Because I wasn't, I was hoping that he was going to come to the Cowboys, right? But I'm after seeing 6 years, 120, there's no way that the Cowboys were gonna get him. I see that the Bills, hey, they had a very good day. They signed OJ Howard as well. So let me ask you about that.
Mm-hmm. So OJ Howard, and this has just been my feeling on him. It seems like a guy that had a lot of hype coming out of college, I don't quite think he ever really lived up to his potential, or I guess the hype of him coming out of college. Do you think that Josh Allen would be able to utilize him better than Tom Brady?
Well, I think Tom Brady used him well. I think he's still a young guy. I want to say he's only in what, year 4? I think this is his 4th, or I'm sorry, this is going into his 6th year, huh?
Right.
Well, early on in his career, he had the injuries, and they didn't have really a good team. I think that he definitely was going to get a boost, having Josh Allen as his quarterback, especially with the other tight end, and then you still got Diggs and some of the other guys, so they have weapons. And he can definitely still stretch the field. I don't think that he's lost that. It's just that it just seems like he hasn't found his footing. He hasn't found his footing he didn't find his footing really in the NFL. So I think in Buffalo, he's going to be all right. He's going to be somebody that you should be aware of.
Yeah, I just always, and again, it just may have been my expectations. I didn't really expect him to be the next Kelsey or the next Gronkowski or anybody like that, but I thought he was like in that next tier of upcoming tight ends that can get you 800 yards receiving, 8 or 9 touchdowns a year, is going to be a stud. And I just haven't seen that from him. So I was surprised when not surprised, but I'm trying to figure out, I guess, the value, or does he make them better?
Right. And well, absolutely. I think that it's not like he's the main. It's not like he's the main option, right? So that definitely helps him because it's kind of like the last couple years in Tampa Bay. He didn't have to be the number one option. They ended up. They had 3 quality tight ends, but I don't even think he won't even be the number one option at tight end. So yet, things can happen, and honestly, he still is fairly young. 5 years in the league isn't a lot, So we'll see, man. We'll see. You just the story's out on him, so we don't know. So I guess it's time, huh?
Yeah, we got to talk about it. We can't move to a different topic.
Desean Watson. I wish I knew his middle name. Matter of fact, I'm about to look up his middle name. Desean Watson he won't be indicted. I'm sorry. Derek Desean Watson. I guess Desean is his middle name. Interesting. Anyway, he won't be indicted. He won't be indicted. So ultimately he's going to be back to being able to play football. That's a good question. We'll get to that. There's teams that's been looking at him: the Browns, the Saints, Falcons, Panthers. If you are Desean Watson, which of those teams are you going to?
The Browns. I hate to say it. I really, really, really hate to say it, but I feel like they're just a quarterback away. So, and I know we got a Saints fan that's listening in. They've got a decent roster, but I don't know if they've got a better roster than the Browns. The Falcons, without Calvin Ridley, and we talked about that and beat that to death last week, boss. But I don't see their roster other than like really Pittman. Carolina is Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Browns, man, with that rushing attack, with what they've done with Amari Cooper, a very solid defense. That's where I would want to go.
Yeah, so I agree. I think that if he was to go to the Browns, I think that you'll be on the bandwagon with me, talking about the Browns win the division, because I do think if they get Desean Watson, they're gonna win that division. Even with Lamar Jackson coming back, even with Burrow being Burrow and the Bengals coming back, I think that Desean Watson, gets them over the hump. Now, my question is, and I do know that the Texans have approved trade packages for I believe it's the Browns, the Falcons, and the Saints, I believe, and I think the Panthers. I can't remember about the Panthers or not. But if I had to choose, and ultimately he is going to be the one to choose since he has a no trade clause, I'm with you, yo. I'm going Brown. I'm going Browns. Now the other thing is the NFC South, and we're going to discuss this because the NFC South might have the worst. Well, Tom Brady came back, but before Sunday, I think the NFC South had the worst set of quarterbacks of any division in football.
I think most people would agree with that. I mean, I hate to say that it's a weak division because in football you never know, right? The divisions that you think are going to be weak normally turn into strong divisions. He had an opportunity to where if he goes to the Saints or he goes to the Falcons, he could dominate that division for years to come. But I think the team that is most ready for him to step into and win and actually have a serious opportunity to compete is the Browns. They have everything but a quarterback. With that being said, your boy Baker Mayfield, what are your thoughts on that? Your boy Mayfield.
All right, so it almost looks like he gave a concession speech. It almost looks like it's he. Oh man, Chandler Jones is going to the Raiders. Sheesh. But it almost looks like he knows something that nobody else knows. Like he knows that it's a wrap, that he's out of there, and that Desean Watson is. Now here's the thing: do you trade him to the Texans? You probably have to instead of anybody else. If you don't trade him to the Texans, you're probably not going to get the compensation.
Smearing him on the way out the door.
Say that again.
It looks like they're attempting to smear his reputation on the way out the door. I don't know if you heard the latest reports. They said that they're interested in having an adult at quarterback. They don't want a child. They need an adult to play the position. I mean, that's pretty tough talk.
That's messed up, yo.
Yeah, I mean, but is it?
Man, this is tough, man. This is tough. But I tell you what, if I had to choose between Desean Watson and Baker Mayfield too, I'm taking Desean Watson every day of the week, every single day of the week. So, I mean, I don't know. After everything that Desean Watson just went through, I don't know if those are the right words to say. I mean,
it's a lot, man. That's a lot.
Yeah, man. Why they gotta go at Baker like that? So I feel like if Baker Mayfield, because he can still turn his career. I don't want people to think that Baker Mayfield's just been a scrub, right? And that's what people are. I've seen, talking to some people and listening. They're trying to make it seem like Baker Mayfield is like a scrub. Let's be honest. When he got to Cleveland, Cleveland was I think a 1-win team. They were a 1-win team. Tyrod Taylor was there, and he got hurt, of course, because that's what Tyrod Taylor does. He gets hurt when a new quarterback comes in, and then he set a rookie record tying. I think it was Peyton Manning and somebody. Oh, he might have just tied Peyton Manning, and then the following season, new coach, a terrible coach, took somewhat of a step back. Then the season after that, another new coach, and it looked like he was ascending, right? It looked like he got the Browns to the playoffs. He won a playoff game against a division rival. So it's like, and let's not act like when they played, they took Kansas City to as far as Kansas City can go in that playoff game. You see what I'm saying? Then I don't know. So I don't want people to think like, come on, they lost by it wasn't his fault that they lost. And even the beginning of last year, if the punter punts the damn ball, they possibly win that game.
I want to tell you what brought this to light even more, and you're going to disagree with me. when the Browns got rid of Odell Beckham, and Odell Beckham went to the Rams and appeared to have a new life.
No, I definitely disagree.
So hear me out on this. I think when Odell Beckham really started complaining, and they started really looking at this guy, he could be average or below average. He may not be the answer. He may be the reason why our offense is not excelling like we want it to. I mean, you got to look at the weapons that Baker Mayfield had around him. He had a plethora of weapons around him. And for whatever reason, he couldn't figure out how to get it done. I don't know, man. He screams just mediocre. I mean, now I will say this. I don't think that, and I've heard reports of them trying to get Jimmy G. I wouldn't act like Jimmy G is that much of an upgrade over Baker Mayfield, but yeah, I mean, he hasn't done a lot, man. And you
hasn't done a lot. Wait, what? You said wait. You said so again. I
give more credit to the team and the coaching.
Hold on. Wait, you can't say to the coaching because he had 4 coaches since he got there.
Well,
and that wasn't his fault.
Stefanski came in there and he coached his butt off. That team, like I said, Baker was part of that team, but I didn't look at the Cleveland Browns and like, yo, Baker Mayfield is balling out. That's why the Cleveland Browns are winning.
Not this past season. He was hurt this past season.
But the season before, that running game carried that team.
So he had to throw the ball.
I mean,
that running game. That running game is official. Because trust me, I know. So
from the outside looking in, it appears that the Browns decided to take the ball or the decision making out of his hands, and to run
last year. You're talking about last year.
I'm talking about the year before too. When they stopped trying to make him look like or think that he was Peyton Manning or Tom Brady and decided like, you know what, it is what it is. This is our quarterback that we have. Let's stop trying to make him throw 30 or 40 times a game. We'll make him throw when he has to. And they started really buying into that. That's when they started having success. If you go back and you look at the stats, most of the time when the Browns won, he might have 160, 180 yards.
He
down and an interception. He was checking.
He had 8 interceptions that year, Scotty.
Yeah, because he wasn't throwing the ball.
He threw 26 touchdowns. What are you talking about?
I mean, but in comparison to all the other quarterbacks, it's not a lot, man.
26 touchdowns to 8 interceptions is not a lot.
So where does that rank?
Oh my gosh!
Where does that rank when you compare to other quarterbacks?
Here's the other thing. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't say, "Yo, they had a stellar running game," and I mean, he had. It's not a lot of teams that had that type of running game. It's not.
We could both agree here, right? You put Desean Watson back there with that running game, and Amari Cooper,
Here we go
that,
with
that offense now opens up. That offense now opens up. We can agree with that, right?
Yo, we're not doing this. All right, so, huh?
I said we can agree there.
We definitely can agree there. So here's the thing. So, I mean, he did enough in that offense that year. They went to the playoffs to get them to the playoffs, and I believe that they were one game out of the division, if I'm not mistaken. I think because Pittsburgh went like 12-4 and they went like 11-5. So, and hey man, I think Baker Mayfield is a decent quarterback. I'm not saying he's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he's a superstar, but I'm saying that he's a decent quarterback when healthy. He's decent. Now, here's the thing. Now, if you compare him to Desean Watson, that you can't do that because Desean Watson is in a category with the Mahomes, with the Rodgers, Desean Watson, in my eyes, is a superstar.
Is Nick Chubb a top 5 running back in the league?
Absolutely.
I think so too. And I'm glad that Cleveland has stood up and decided that they're not going to waste his years.
Oh my God. No, so here's the thing. If they don't get Desean Watson, right? Because it's cold and he's a Southern guy. If they don't get Desean Watson, then who do you get if you don't keep Baker Mayfield?
You're going to probably go after Jimmy Garoppolo.
And that's that much of an upgrade?
No.
You pretty much got the same thing. You got a quarterback that gets hurt all the time. You got a quarterback that could barely throw for 200 yards. Yes, he wins games, but honestly, Baker Mayfield wins games too. And you shouldn't put wins and losses just on the quarterback. I think we've had that conversation. Wins and losses, especially in football, shouldn't just be a quarterback stat. You shouldn't have that because it's just not fair. But I get it and I understand.
So Baker Mayfield, he came in 17 or 18.
Baker Mayfield came in the same year as as Lamar Jackson. So this is his fifth year. So 2018.
So he came in with Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen, right?
And Sam Darnold and Josh Rosen. Don't forget those guys. This is like,
but where are those guys?
I don't know.
Right, those guys are on, like, one is borderline out the league, another has gotten his second opportunity, which it looks like his team is in pursuit of another quarterback too. So you look at it, right, at the 5-year mark, you've had enough time to evaluate the quarterback, and you say, okay, we made a playoff run, but we're a loaded team, and I think we could both agree the Cleveland Browns have had a lot of talent on that roster for a long time. And
long time. Let's not say a long time. It's not a long time. It's been like a good 3-year run. It's not a long time.
It's been a good 3 or 4 year run to where you look at their roster on paper and you say, like, hey, this team is a force to be reckoned with. I mean, hell, I'll run the tape back. You've predicted them to win the division the past 3 years.
I didn't predict them to win the division. I said them last year.
Yeah. You've been on that Brown hype train.
But again, they are. So we'll agree here. That although Baker Mayfield wasn't the only problem, he held them back.
Yeah, if his name was Brennan Mayfield, he'd have been out of a job. I don't feel sorry for Baker Mayfield.
I don't feel sorry for him either, especially look, watch this. Especially if we're gonna get Desean Watson. If the Browns get Desean Watson, listen, I'm telling you right now, it'll be 4 years in a row that I got them winning the division. But I don't know if I had them win the division all them years either. I gotta go back to the tick because I don't know.
I have a hat. I have a hat that you bought me for a bet that we in 2019. Yeah, you had predicted them to win the division. Then the next year, everything came together. The next year was the year that they
won 11-5. Yeah,
because you was just a year too late. And then last year, I mean, you thought they were going to build on that because they had, I mean, they gave a decent run. And in your defense, I mean, the 2020 team that you was looking at, I mean, why wouldn't you think that they would be good the next year? They're getting everybody back. Baker Mayfield looks like
it's like football. Injuries happen. You know what I'm saying? So injuries happen, and they was, I mean, they look like a shell of themselves. Nick Chubb got hurt. Kareem Hunt was hurt. Odell Beckham was out of there. What's you call it? That just left. What's the other receiver? I'm drawing a blank. Help me out.
Okay, so somebody got to ask you before we forget. Oh, are you talking about Landry? Before we get this, forget Russell Wilson to the Broncos. I know last week we had spoke if Aaron Rodgers was going to go to the Broncos. And we said, nah, they may be a contender. They may not be a contender. Russell Wilson there. What are your thoughts on that?
Russell Wilson to the Broncos makes the AFC West that much more of a tough division. I mean, it was already tough. Now, I mean, pretty much we just talked about a division that had probably the worst group of quarterbacks. This is probably the division with the best group of quarterbacks. And Russell Wilson, I got a feeling, and it's just and I could be going, I may be overreacting. I just have a feeling that Russell Wilson and the Broncos are gonna go on some crazy type of run. You know, we got a Broncos fan in here now, but I got a feeling that they're gonna go on a run where I'm not saying it's that year that Peyton Manning had when they went to the Super Bowl and he threw for all them yards, but I think Russell Wilson is about to have one of those crazy years especially with those receivers, and he's gonna have a running game. Watch out for the Broncos. Now, I'll say this because I saw some. And because they did steal Randy Gregory. Yes, they stole him. That's an improvement for them, especially when the Chargers are picking up the likes of freaking Khalil Mack. And the Chiefs, they still got Mahomes. So I mean, they didn't do much to like upgrade. I mean, they actually lost. I mean, they added Justin Reed but lost the Honey Badger. I'd rather have the Honey Badger, but he gonna cost. And so all these other teams' defenses are gearing up for the Chiefs. I mean, Chandler Jones went to the Raiders, so every other team got some sort of edge rusher or somebody to rush the quarterback, except for the Chiefs.
So and it goes back to the initial question: Is the power shift in the AFC now?
Well, I mean, the AFC has all the power. The AFC has. I mean, listen. If I was a team, if I was a free agent, and I wanted an easier path to the playoff, I'm going to the NFC. I'm going to the NFC, and I ain't thinking twice if I want an easier path, right? But it looks like all like the power shift used to be the NFC, but that one done shifted to the AFC. I mean, look at if you look at free agency, it seems like all the moves have been made in the AFC, and the NFC are just getting old. They just getting their same guys back.
Do you think that played a part in Tom Brady's decision to come back?
Why? Because it's an easier path. I mean, he should have never left because that division is terrible. I mean, ultimately, he got the AFC East all over again from when he was playing. That's all. That's all it is. Is the NFC South right now is the old AFC East. The NFC South is terrible. Terrible. I mean,
so you got the Falcons. I don't think nobody has any faith in them. But if Desean Watson goes there for whatever reason, that changes things a little bit.
Absolutely.
If Desean Watson goes to the Saints, that changes them a lot. Because Michael Thomas does come back.
He does. And he like, you know, the coach that he didn't like is gone. So yeah, of course, transactions, you know, will change a lot of things, you know. So if if the Cowboys get Bobby Wagner, which I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to damn Denver, yo.
I think he's going too.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if he goes to Denver. So I don't know. I think right now the AFC is getting the best of the free agent pool or whatever. But we'll see how that plays out this season. But I mean, the AFC is loaded from quarterbacks to edge rushers to running backs. I mean, they're loaded, yo. It's crazy. So, all right, yo, let's get to the winner of the week.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
All right, so this week I don't necessarily have a person, but I rarely agree with Kevin Durant or anything that he's saying. But Sunday, when I watched the Nets play, and I watched Kyrie Irving sitting courtside, of course, everybody knows Kyrie Irving is an unvaccinated player. And they know that in New York City, the Brooklyn Nets have not been allowing him to play because he's unvaccinated. It brings up a lot of questions to where if you're a visiting player and you're playing for an opposite team and you're unvaccinated, you could play. But the home team players can't play if they're unvaccinated. And if you're a fan and you're unvaccinated, you can enter the arena without being checked previously. It makes absolutely no sense. I mean, it's either one or the other. If we're going to go extreme, like some of the other arenas have gone to where, okay, you got to show your vax card, you got to show proof that you're vaccinated. That's the only way you can enter. The players are vaccinated, then fine. But if you're going to start allowing unvaccinated fans in, and you're going to allow the visiting team to have unvaccinated players play in the games, the NBA, well, I ain't going to say the NBA, New York City has to do better, and they need to clear this up, man. This is a mess. And I can't believe that anybody is even co-signing with it because it makes no sense.
Are you ready for me?
Yeah, go ahead. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
So I think, well, you're right. It is by far the dumbest rule I've ever seen in my life, or mandate, or whatever you want to call it. It makes absolutely no sense. So the state of New York should get winner of the week, and the mayor also should get winner of the week because, I mean, first of all, grab your nuts and be a man and put your foot down, all right? Because right now you look like a sucker. He just does. And the things that he's been saying makes him further look like a sucker. If it's so inconsistent, it's such an inconsistent and inconsistent rule that it's just dumb. And you would think that it would start to get you know, at least they would start to say, all right, this ain't making a lot of sense. Let's do X, Y, and Z. Let's change this mandate because you got thousands of fans in there and they don't have to wear masks while they're in there, which is another thing, you know, and Kyrie Irving has to go there as a spectator, you know, and he doesn't have to wear a mask. But if he was vaccinated, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, if he was vaccinated, he'll be able to sit on the bench, but he had to have on his mask. Or did they change that they don't have to have their mask on?
It's so many inconsistencies in this, and I think like me and you, we both call it what it is, like, you know, about people getting vaccinated, and we've kind of held the same stance that it's your decision, like what you want to do. I'm not going to tell you should do, but whatever decision you make, there's some sort of, I don't want to say repercussions because it sounds like punishment, but there are things that come along with whatever decision. Kyrie Irving has manned up and he's stuck to his guns. Like, he's made his decision. He's fielded the ridicule. He's potentially lost $17 million. That's his choice. He's stuck to his guns.
Right.
But now when you start to look at it, and I think we're both two pretty fair individuals, it just doesn't seem right to have a policy that's just that inconsistent. Like, I'm okay with you saying that, you know what, our stadium, everybody that comes in, players, fans, has to be vaccinated. Okay. Now that's a decision that Kyrie is making. You know, he chose not to get vaccinated. Here is the policy. But then when you have the visiting team that is able to come in and they're able to be unvaccinated, and you're the home team and you've got to be vaccinated to play, but then the pile on that, a fan could come in there. So you can come in the arena as a fan and not play with your team. It just, at some point, we've got to use a little bit of common sense.
It doesn't make any sense. It's just like it's like so and it's not. I want people to understand that it's not an NBA. It's not an NBA rule. It's the state of New York that is their sanction or mandate or whatever you want to call it. It's absurd, and now it's getting ready to trickle into baseball. Mm-hmm. You know, the same thing, same rules apply.
Aaron Judge.
Right? Yeah, but so the thing is, and I don't know how these mandates are gonna go, but like no unvaccinated player could go to like they can't play in not Miami, but Toronto. It's so my next question is, let's just say, let's fast forward to April. Season has ended. Everything has remained the same. No, they didn't. The New York State has not changed the mandate. At Kyrie Irving, if you're Kyrie Irving, do you get vaccinated?
No, but this is what I do if I'm the Nets. I decide that I've saved $17 million. I pay the fines for him to play the home games.
What are the fines?
I don't know what the fines are, but it's not going to add up to $17 million.
So who would be getting fined? They would be getting fined from the NBA or from the state?
From the state. So I go ahead and I say,
I would have been paid them fines.
But I mean, maybe they're holding off to the playoffs. Maybe they're holding off to see if any.
I had another idea. If he doesn't get vaccinated, do you make sure that you don't get you know, I mean, I don't even think that they could even catch the 4 seed, but do you make sure that you're a 5 or low, a 5th or 6th seed? I mean, 8th seed, you're going to be in the play. Right now, they're at the 8th. And do you somehow make sure that you don't have, that you somehow make sure you don't have home court? So now, you know, even if you go 7 games, you're on the road.
Yeah,
I don't know if that's the greatest idea, but I kind of felt like that's what they were doing anyway when they were losing all those games. I was like, this team isn't that bad. You know, I know they had some guys hurt, and I know James Harden didn't want to be there anymore. So, but I think that in the grand scheme of things, you if you're not gonna have Kyrie Irving at home, and you have him on the road, then you shouldn't have home court advantage, and that's how he'll get to play more games in the playoffs. Then, but you just never know, man.
I would just eat the fines. I mean, we haven't talked about it. We were going to roll into it. I mean, he's on a terror right now. I mean, he is torching everybody that's in his path. But something that we've been talking about, everybody's been clamoring for, is you get Ben Simmons back on that. And just let's say he's not even the offensive presence that he's ever been. But from a defensive standpoint, I think we could both agree. I mean, he's a hell of a defensive player. You have him to guard Giannis. You have him to guard whoever on the Heat. And you got Kyrie. That team is still something to be reckoned with.
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, so the word is that Ben Simmons is having a back problem, right? And this is not funny, but it was funny when I read it that he got while they was in Orlando, I think yesterday, or it might have been the day before when they got there, he got an epidural. And it's not funny, man, but I've never heard of anybody getting an epidural except for pregnant women. So I don't know, man. It was just damn.
So look, man, I'm not going to knock the brother.
I'm not either.
Ben's been having a rough year. He's been having a rough year. That's an understatement. But I mean, they get him back, and they get this thing worked out with the mandate. I personally, if I was the GM, and you kind of alluded to it, right? I would start playing Kyrie Irving at home games, eating the cost of the fine to put a lot more pressure on the city and bring a lot more awareness to how idiotic this all sounds. And I would go from there. Maybe they're trying to save the money and not pay him, but they said Ben Simmons pregnant. Come on. Come on. Hey,
that's not funny, man.
He has been sperming all over the court.
Oh my gosh, no.
Did y'all say last season he got himself pregnant? Come on.
Oh man. So I'll say this. Nets are definitely putting the East at least on notice, right? They're putting the East on notice. Let's head out west real quick. Golden State, they played a game with Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson for the first time since they had KD. For the first time since the finals when they against Toronto. And so I know they had lost a few games, was on a bit of a drought. What do you think the chances are for them to make the finals now that Draymond is back and Klay is back and the gang's back together?
Oh man, I mean I love their chances. I mean, so you look out west, right? You got the Suns. Well, right now they're in the league of their own. I believe they're like 6 or 7 games up.
They're not gonna get caught.
Yeah. They're in the league of their own. You got the Grizzlies, which Ja Morant. I mean, we've talked about this. I mean, he's been on a hell of a tear. He is box office, and he's been. I think we could both agree he has went into the superstardom. And if you disagree with me calling him a superstar, I challenge you to just watch some more of his game.
I don't. Who's going to disagree?
Maybe there's people out there that's not watching, but you got the Warriors at the 3rd spot, right? They're. I mean, the Suns, like I said, they got to the finals last year, but I'm not sure that if I'm the Suns, I want to see the experience of the Warriors. I mean, and you get those guys back healthy. Like you said, you got Klay Thompson, Andrew Wiggins has figured it out this year. You got Steph that's been playing out of his mind, and then you bring back the glue. And I mean, all jokes aside, I've been pretty cruel to Draymond Green, just statistically, but he does fit with Klay and Steph.
They're not the same player without him, and not saying that they're bad without him, but Draymond Green makes life so much easier for Klay and Steph. I want you to see this one. I don't know about that one.
So he does all the dirty work, right? So you got Klay Thompson. He's coming back. He's starting to find his footing. Is he the same Klay? No, but he at least resembles himself, and he's still working his way back up. But with Draymond, he handles the ball and he spaces the floor. And just him handling the ball and playing with those shooters, it creates a deadly offense. We're in the pace and space era, and the Warriors have owned that. they've legitimately owned being that pace and space team, and with Draymond pushing the ball up and a guy that can shoot too, he makes a difference, and is a lockdown defender. I mean, you can put him on the versatility of him. You can put him on most players and maybe not lock him down, but he's a good defensive player. So he makes a difference.
He definitely makes a difference.
So this is where I was harsh on Draymond. I think most people soured on Draymond a little bit was he had an opportunity without Steph and Klay to kind of show that he could be the leader or he could be that one in the organization. And when he was out there averaging 7 points and 4 rebounds and 3 assists and nobody was there, everybody was just kind of like, man, this guy, he's not that good. But if you put him around the right pieces, which Klay and Steph obviously are, it definitely makes life easier for him.
Yeah, I mean, he's former defensive player of the year. I mean, if they just looked more comfortable last the other night when having Draymond back. So we'll see how that goes. I think that Phoenix is going to be a tough out, but I really don't want to talk about this team, but it's kind of like we have to. So the Lakers, right?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I was like, we cannot go off the air and not talk about the Lakers. So I've got an opportunity to watch the Lakers upcoming. A couple of my buddies, a couple of family members think that the Lakers are done. Do you think the Lakers are done?
When you say done, what exactly do you mean? Do you mean like this season, like for good, like in the LeBron era? Like, what do you mean done? Are you saying that they're not going to make the play? They're going to be the playing Lakers and that's going to be that? Like, yeah, I need you to elaborate out because I just don't know. I don't know.
So hear me out on this, right?
Okay.
When I watch a Laker game, I'm not sold. When I look at the Lakers stats, I'm not sold. But I do feel like that LeBron James has an opportunity here to seal his legacy as the GOAT of all time. If he can somehow or some way win a championship with this team, I think the conversation moves a lot closer to MJ. I think he's got the opportunity. I do not.
So are you saying, and I want to be clear. So are you saying that somehow, some way, that the Lakers are doing this on purpose?
No, and that's after watching all the games. Hell no, I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think that's legitimate, but I just do not see LeBron James going out in the playoffs, the play-in. I mean, he can't do it. I mean, this is Kid James that we're talking about, and LeBron may have some haters. People may feel like Jordan's better. People may feel like Kobe is better. All jokes aside, I do not see him, if Anthony Davis comes back, which he should come back, and Russell Westbrook and all them legends that they got on their bench just going out like that. I can't see it. I think LeBron, he's not going to go out like that. He can't go out like that. He can't do it.
All right. So I said a few weeks ago, we were all having a con, and I was like, I felt like, because watching some of the Lakers games is like, and you get kind of disgusted, right? And I was like, yo, there's no way. I've never seen Russell Westbrook play this bad, right? And then when it comes down to defense, it's like sometimes LeBron don't even run down. But they were playing the Rockets a few days ago, and he just kind of like, he moved his feet a little bit, and then once the guy took the third step, he just kind of like let him dribble right past him, and it was like, it looks weird, man. So it was like, it don't look like they're playing the hardest. It just doesn't look like they're playing hard. I mean, you give up 48 points in a quarter, in the first quarter. I'm not saying that you're playing the hardest that you can possibly play. So do I think that they could get out the play-in and get to the playoffs and possibly play Phoenix in the first round? I wouldn't be. So here's the thing: I wouldn't be surprised if they want Phoenix in the first round. And this is why, because some of them young boys been talking real spicy to LeBron, and LeBron is like, I want them to do. And I could be wrong, but they right now in ninth. And I think they're like 6 games behind.
They're in the solid ninth. So
I don't even think they could catch the Clippers. So I mean that kind of makes things a lot harder. You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta win that 9-10 game. Then you gotta play a 3-game series with the loser of the 7-8 game.
But you brought up a good point. You're bringing up a good point, right? So if you're the Lakers and you're in 9th place, there's absolutely no incentive to get to 8th or 7th place.
Right.
As long as they just stay firm at 9th place, it's really all going to be the same thing. So if you're LeBron, are you conserving all this energy? If you're some of those old guys on the bench, or are you just gearing up for the last hoorah? Possibly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, why not? I mean, because here's the thing: like, you're gonna get ridiculed regardless. Even if they was in the 4th seed, they would have been the media would have found some way to ridicule the Lakers. So I mean, they're getting blasted in the media, and now I really want to see, because if that happens, you're right. If the Lakers not only get out the play-in game and get to the second round of the playoffs, oh my gosh. Yeah. Because Anthony Davis will be back. LeBron is LeBron. There's no way Russ could play any worse. And I think if Russ goes and averages 18-8 and 6, let's just say 18-8-6, right? I think, that's solid, especially with him coming back. And they got a ton of role players. Melo could average 10 or 11. I mean, you got Malik Monk, who's been playing pretty damn good. It's just like some of these guys are playing good, but you can't tell because like their defense stinks right now. And this was like the number 1 rated defense last year. Now I know some of those guys are gone, but yeah.
So basketball, I just feel like defense is about effort, right? If you can get everybody to buy in, you can get everybody to play both ends. I'm not going to say they could change it on overnight, but if they get their confidence or they figure out their groove and they get Anthony Davis back and they start winning and they figure out a winning formula, I do believe they can go on a run
and beat Phoenix.
Yeah. That's a little.
If they're playing their A game, if you got a healthy Anthony Davis, a healthy LeBron James, and a healthy Russell Westbrook, with the other role players like Carmelo, Howard, and anybody else that they got, you don't think that they could go on like even like a little run?
Oh yeah, they could definitely go on a run. So I got one serious question though.
Oh boy.
Suppose everything that I just said is a fantasy, imagination, like it never happened. Everybody's eye test is real. Who loses their job behind constructing this roster?
Well,
where do you start?
The first person that's going to lose their job is Frank Vogel. He'll be first. Rob Pelinka, I don't think he's going to get fired, but he's going to have like another year to fix it. Another year to fix it. And it almost looks like they're going to be stuck with a lot of these guys anyway. Next year and then the year after, they could blow it up. But the thing is, eventually they're going to have to, because they got a lot of old guys. They have to get younger. Somehow, some way, they have to get younger, whether they're trading for picks or whether they just I don't even know how you fix it, because, I mean, you look at all the young guys that they got rid of, it's like, geez.
If you're LeBron, do you leave?
What, next year after this season?
Yeah. Force your way out.
I don't know about that one. If I'm LeBron, towards the latter years of my career, I do want to play for a contender. There's just certain teams that he just can't go to. He can't go back to Cleveland. He can't go to Miami. He can't go to Memphis. He can't go to Phoenix. There's just certain teams, certain places that he just can't go. Like somebody, a place that, like, if LeBron was to leave, I don't know where he goes. I mean, Sacramento, play with De'Aaron Fox. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, so think about it, right? And you're right. This team is pretty like jacked up. If they can't go on a run this year, there's got to be serious consideration in how do they fix this team. And I'm not saying that they go into a full rebuild, but if you're LeBron, do you start thinking, well, if I can't get it done, am I just holding out for my son to play? Or should I just go ahead and just retire and just kind of end it a little bit early? Because how? But think about it, right? How soon can Bronny get to the NBA?
I think he's 2 years or 3 years. He's a junior this year or a senior? I think he's a senior. I think he's a senior this year. So 2 years. And
that's assuming that he balls out and he gets.
Oh, he's LeBron James Jr. They'll find a way to
they'll figure it out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out.
So 2 years is not that bad, but if we're talking 3 or 4 years down the road,
nah. You said what?
I said it's tough sledding.
Nah, he has he's a senior in high school. So because he's a senior in high school, and I mean, you know how it is now. I mean, Dwayne Wade's son is playing in the G League, so I mean, it's not like he has to go to college, So it's tough, man. It's tough, but if he does go to Cleveland, wherever he goes, he's definitely we know that 90% chance that team gets LeBron James. And at that point, it's like, hey man, well, what now? So, but I don't think that he retires.
Okay.
I don't think he retires. I got one last thing before we get out of here. Brittany Griner.
Okay.
They say like she just vanished. So but they're saying like now, I guess a U.S. congressman has said that she's okay. But he said he can't say much more. Let me ask you this, because I have my feelings towards this. Do you think that somehow, some way, Brittany Griner is going to be used like a political piece, like with Putin, and he's using this woman from America who's a star, and using him as like do things our way or whatever with her? You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely. I thought it from the beginning. I mean, the only way we could really, without getting too far into it, the fastest way we could hurt them is through their economy. And, if we start leaning in whatever direction that we lean into to get back at them, that's a bargaining chip.
Right. Yeah, I mean, so it's just, so my thing is, man, they need to figure it out. They need to figure that out in regards to Brittany Griner. I don't like the she vanished thing. That's to me, that's a little bit too scary. You know what I'm saying? Because and of course, things she was detained before we even knew about it. I mean, I think she was detained for like a week or two before it was even like put in the media. So,
but I mean, it's like we've been saying, and I mean, it's really 2020. Everybody's kind of woke up, found their voice. I mean, and somebody just posted it with her status in that country, and color of her skin. I mean, is it a priority for bringing her home? Is it much of a bargaining chip as far as Russia is concerned? I mean, is there so much that goes into that?
Yeah. I mean, and as that story develops, we'll definitely talk about it. But that's crazy, yo. And just bring the young lady home. I mean, what was it, a vape hash or whatever it was? Like, come on, man, it ain't that deep. I know the rules over there are a lot different than they are over here, but nonetheless, let's get her back home. Man, we covered a lot of ground today, man. NFL still going, they still going to try and these moves are crazy. I'm just gonna retweet a bunch of them, but it's crazy right now with a lot of these moves. Teams are getting better, and I don't think it's just the Chiefs and everybody else. I think a lot of teams in the AFC have caught up to the Chiefs. So we gonna see. We definitely gonna see. But you got anything else? Anything to get out of there?
Nah, man, we've covered it all, man. I'm just excited about to watch a battle. We'll be all right, man.
Yes, sir. All right, man. This is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Where's Scotty B?
We out of here.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5. We off the record.
We're different from any other sport.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.